This is a beginner guide for Elemental Shaman in the War Within Season 3. Going to be great for casuals, great for beginners. We're going to go through the rotation in both Raiding and Mythic Plus. On the left here, this is your top priority. On the right is your bottom priority. If you'd like to get my UI without these massive bars in the middle, of course, they're just for the video, then you can get that on my Patreon and support the channel at the same time. So, number 1. Stormkeeper. Call forth a great storm elemental that's going to hurl some gusts of wind at your enemies. While it's active, casting lightning bolt or chain lightning is going to increase your haste, so how quickly we cast, up to 4 times. Then we're going to also use Stormkeeper and Ascendance on cooldown. So Stormkeeper is on a minute cooldown and Ascendance is on a 3-minute cooldown, meaning that we can use Stormkeeper, and then the third one, it would be with Ascendance. But do use them together whenever you can. Stormkeeper, you charge yourself with lightning, causing your next 2 lightning bolts to deal a lot more damage, and cause your next 2 lightning bolts or chain lightnings to be instant cast and trigger an elemental overload. Then we have Ascendance. Basically, we want to maximize how much we can use this. Use it with your potions, use it with trinkets, use it in your burst phases, etc, etc, and with all your other cooldowns. So we're going to transform into a Flame Ascendant, instantly casting a Flame Shock and a nearby 100% effectiveness Lava Burst at nearby 6 enemies. This is Flame Shock, this is Lava Burst. It does it automatically, so don't worry. While Ascended, Elemental Overload damage is increased, and spells affected by our Mastery cause an additional. So if you're wondering what is this Elemental Overload we're talking about, well, that's going to be our Mastery here. Increases all elemental and physical damage, and your Lightning Bolt and Lava Burst and all your other elemental spells have a chance to trigger a second cast on the same target, doing less damage than the main one. So it's basically a second free cast of your spell that will happen automatically, and that is what your Elemental Overload is. After that, we want to use our Flame Shock, basically to keep the dot up on our targets at all times. Then we're going to use these 2 spells together, Ancestral Swiftness and Primordial Wave. Ancestral Swiftness basically means that your next damaging spell is instant and costs no mana, but it will also do a bit more damage. So we can use that. And then we're going to use Primordial Wave, and that'll obviously be instant. Blasts all targets affected by your Flame Shock within 40 yards with a Primordial Wave, dealing damage and granting you Lava Surge. So what's Lava Surge then? Well, that is this one here. Your next Lava Burst is going to be instant cast. When you see these big lava kind of waves come up on your character on either side here, that means you've got Lava Burst. You'll see your Lava Surge, and you'll see your Lava Burst light up because it means it will be instant cast. Now, what you'll notice on some of your spells, like Flame Shock, it says it generates 3 Maelstrom. You'll see on your Primordial Wave, it generates 12 Maelstrom. Well, that's this resource here that we're slowly generating. And our Earth Shock here, we're going to use, basically, to spend our Maelstrom. Pretty simple. And then apart from that, we're going to use Frost Shock. We're going to use our Lava Burst whenever we have Lava Surge active, or if we're capped on stacks, there's 2 stacks or 2 charges, 3 charges you can have maximum of Lava Burst. If you've got 2 to 3 charges, use Lava Burst. If you've got nothing else to use Lightning Bolt. And this is a pretty beginner-friendly rotation where we're not having to think about an insane amount of different things as an Elemental Shaman in a raid environment. So use your Storm Elemental on cooldown, use your Stormkeeper on cooldown and use it with your Ascendant, use your Flame Shock on cooldown, use Ancestral Swiftness with your Primordial Wave, use your Earth Shock basically to spend your Maelstrom, use Frost Shock. We're going to use Lava Burst whenever we've got free ones or we've got multiple charges of it, and apart from that we're going to use Lightning Bolt as our filler. Sometimes your Frost Shock will turn into Ice Fury, and that's really the priority on when we're going to be using it. So basically, it's whenever it's lit up, whenever it's turned into Ice Fury, that's when you're going to use your Frost Shock. If we then go into the Mythic Plus talent build here, a few things are going to change, but not massively. Use your Storm... get off my bars, will ya? Well, not you, actually. You're going to use your Storm Elemental on cooldown. You're going to use your Stormkeeper and Ascendance on cooldown. But we are changing hero talents for the Mythic Plus build where we now have Stormbringer. Basically, every 300 Maelstrom that we spend turns Lightning Bolt into Tempest. So whenever you see your Lightning Bolt transform, not lit up, but it will literally transform, then use Tempest on cooldown. You'll know it's pretty obvious. It looks like this icon here at the top of the talent. Then we have Elemental Blast. Use this basically whenever you can. And this is going to be at 90 or more Maelstrom. So when we use our Elemental Blast, what we're then going to get is a buff called Echoes of the Great Sundering. Your next Earthquake will deal a lot more damage, and that's going to cost 60 Maelstrom. So basically, when you've then got enough Maelstrom to use that buff that you get from your Elemental Blast on your Earthquake, then obviously we're going to be, well, using it on our Earthquake. So there we go, use Earthquake to spend that Maelstrom and get that massive buff from Echoes of the Great Sundering. After that, we're going to use Frost Shock, but only once it's turned into Ice Fury, and then Chain Lightning as a filler. So this is more in Mythic Plus and AoE. So Storm Elemental, Stormkeeper, Ascendance, use Lightning Bolt, but only when it's called Tempest and it's transformed. Use Elemental Blast whenever you can, which will then give you a buff for your Earthquake. So basically use Elemental Blast and then use your Earthquake. Use Frost Shock whenever it turns into Ice Fury. And as a filler, it's just going to be Chain Lightning. And that's pretty much it for the Mythic Plus rotation. Very simple. A few other bits and bobs that we can look at here. Bloodlust, of course, increasing the haste for everyone in the party in raid, biggest cooldown in the game we have as a shaman. In Mythic Plus, you may want to help out your healer with Cleanse Spirit, removing curse effects. You've got the Earth Elemental, which is a great defensive. Ghost Wolf you can use basically whenever you like, and that's a great speed increase. It's one of my favourite spells in the game. Now, we also have Earth Shield and Lightning Shield. Basically, as a shaman, you can have two of these active at a time. Lightning Shield surrounds you, where melee attackers have a chance to do damage to you and give you some Maelstrom. Earth Shield is actually going to increase healing and how much... it's going to heal them when they take damage. You can actually place it on the shaman and another person at a time. The shaman can have up to 2 elemental shields. Obviously, we're using lightning and earth there. Sky Fury, you want to put on your allies at all times. This is actually going to grant them a 2% mastery buff and empower their auto attacks to instantly strike again for an entire hour. We've got Purge, removing beneficial effects from our enemies. And things like Stone Bulwark Totem, where we can basically absorb tons of damage nearby. And lastly, Wind Shear. This is your interrupt, which is going to interrupt the enemy spellcasting. And in Mythic Plus, this is massively, massively important. I'm not going to go through all of these in massive detail, but as a beginner, you know, I'd say get used to the rotation in full and then have a look through all of the other talents and the spells that you don't know about to really build on your foundation of knowledge. But as a beginner casual guide, I just want to take you through the main rotation, why we're doing what, and the buffs we're getting, etc. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Make sure to subscribe and check the playlist on screen as I do every spec in the game.